Hello everyone, welcome in for the first round of Season 8, officially anyway. Got the pre-season races done and dusted out of the way. And now officially ready for action for the real deal. As we hit the action in Tier 2 to start things off. Got 16 drivers so far, just as I said that we're up to 17. As drivers slowly filter in during quali. Pickle's here as well. Good evening. No Reese today, unfortunately. He's decided it's acceptable to go on holiday during the season. That's disgraceful. So just me today, unfortunately. But qualifying underway, starting a couple of minutes later. I may have to disappear midstream shortly as there's a boiler man round. So I may have to disappear shortly as he sorts stuff out, but nothing to worry about. As Troy then tops the time sheets for now, anyway. Yeah, track limits is definitely one to watch out for today. Especially in the racing quality, it'd be interesting to see if people can get that one lap pace in. I went through it shortly during the pre-season race, obviously, but for the people that missed that, we can quickly go through new drivers, etc. that were on the track. Let me quickly go through Manic Panics. Well, DMS Manic this season, reserving once again. Snooze got a full-time seat, he reserved once last season. Laurie is now officially on the grid again for the first time since 2 seasons ago when he stepped up from the reserve role to race full-time at the back end of Tier 1. Brad is full-time in a Ferrari. We cut to 2 people in the Validate lap. I may be a bit of a curse. Who else have we got? Mido, obviously in a full-time seat, wasn't meant to be, but we had a late drop out of the grid just before pre-season, so Mido's been able to slide into a seat. Quinton as well, back racing. I think we've seen him race one time before in Silverstone, but there was a bit of internet issues on that occasion when he's off the track there on that time. But yeah, so it's interesting to see what he can do. We've got Chocolada, who's new into the league, only a couple of days ago, so we'll keep an eye on him to see where he slots in the order. Constella, the controversy that shrouded the end of his time in Tier 1, now kicking off in Tier 2. Obviously had a very successful pre-season race, was looking good for a P2 or a P1, but double stack pushed him backwards to around P5 or so, but still a solid outing. And then we've got Harsh as well, who's a known entity among several of the drivers within Tier 1 and Tier 2, or just in the league as a whole. But it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Now that he's got a seat in the league for the first time, we can see where he slots into the order. Yeah, the times continue to fling away. Windex in the chat says, what do you say pole time's going to be? Oh. For F2, I mean, it depends. Lucas Champion's been looking very good on time trial and stuff, so it depends what that conversion's like between Brad just invalidates it again, but I guess it depends. I think it could be, I think Nicolas just said a 14 flat. Yeah, I think it's gonna be, I don't think we're quite gonna tip into the 13s. I might be lying through my teeth there, but yeah, if I had to guess, I would say I think it's maybe 3-4 tenths on what Troy's done. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Brad has just started the time, same with Snoo just behind them. They're the only 2 people really on a lap. Trailer, where's the trailer? He's gone, I'm telling you, he's gone. He's dead. Got a car in the gravel trap as well. Laurie's invalidated his run. Turbo's invalidated. Constella's coming around to start another one, I think, considering based for the ZRS. So no, we'll go back around to Brados, who's invalidated again. So Snoo as well has backed off his run. So lots of mess here. Clipsy, I am on my own, but it's alright. Well, at least I'll hash it out for round 1, as I may be in and out of mute, so I don't want to leave you hanging. Who's going to be the next coming round? We've got Chocolada coming around to start his first run. Who else have we got? I can handle it, yeah. I'm holding down the fort between the owner and the co-owner. The true owner's gone, unfortunately. It's a sad day. But we've got a Ferrari coming around Bradders. Is he into the pits? No, he's finally going to try and see if he can set a valid time. Must have fueled up for several runs. I missed a reset. Who resets? Wait, the flick's doing. It says a Windex reset. Oh, I appreciate it. He's paying the bills. Windex keeping the lights on in the factory. But another mistake there for Bradders, so this time's almost done just as well as Camper's invalidated and he's into the pits as well. So lots of people really struggling with the limits. Mido looks like he's going to get a time on the board then. Found 13th for that time so far. Where can he go? Puts a P3 immediately into the 14s. Only the top 4 in the 14s. Now, what is this? What is this? Windex is... You just gifted 10 subs. Oh jeez. Who's been gifted? Who's been frauded a gift? But this man deserves admin. This man needs a promotion. As Constella then goes pole then provisionally with a 14.5 as there's some glazing in the chat. We're just very excited about the chat right now. Thank you again. But yeah, Bradders will probably be into pits after this, low on fuel, another scruffy lap. Quentin as well. Quentin's invalidated, so yeah, no one really to watch at the moment because everyone's in the bin with limits. That's an Aston come around as well. Where's that? That's Manic on his outlap. So just a couple of outlaps to watch out for people starting their time, the likes of K1. Hyacinth Rook as well, brand new driver. Came in with a couple of his mates, I believe. So we'll keep an eye on him and see if he slots into the order. I believe someone who's joined with him, Malvin, should be joining during qualifying. He's got 7 minutes to do so, so maybe I'll go into the chat quickly and ping him just to make sure he's still coming. Hopefully we can have a bit more of a full house. I think Kookaburra is yet to appear as well. Obviously, champion all the way back in season 2. Close up the ranks last season as well. Because now with Jono and Mighty View gone, it's him versus Turbo really is the two highest ranked drivers. So we'll have to see if it's one of those two that takes the title or whether it filters down the order to one of the new guys. I think if I'm putting my neck on the line and doing a favourite for the title, I'm going to say Lucas Champion. I'm putting my neck on the line, I'm saying Lucas Champion will be the champion. So we'll see if that follows through and actually happens at the end. But, you know, I'm saying that, I'm putting my head on the line. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. That's Malik then. Improves in his time by half second, down to a 15.8. Harsh a little bit off the pace as well. Brad is asking where he himself will come. I think it's going to be, I think the front 8 or so, I think when the grid was being created, that was one thing noted, is that the grid at the front could be extremely congested. So I think, you know, Paul always talks about the hype of season 6. I think season 8 could be a very interesting season. So all I'm saying is just keep an eye on the front, however many. I think we could have a lot of drivers flicking through. Oh yeah, Nicola, don't worry. I've got you penciled in for Merc. I've got that thing ready to send in 45 minutes. If Reese is currently unavailable to send the messages for tier 1 check-in and full time and reserve. So I've got my finger on the button ready. We've got a couple of cars come to the line just now, where they're coming into the pits, I believe. So that's a Has then for the trying. That's Mido on his outlap, and then Manic on his way back to the pits. So we're full as Lippy ran. He's not enough time, and he's valid for now. Stays valid. Took that very nicely. So I feel like we should be able to actually see a time on the board here. Mr. Slippy showing people how it's done. Down into the final 2 corners then. Nice and tidy. A bit slow though, but valid is what we like to see. Across the line then, what's this going to do? No time on the board yet. where is he going to go with this? He goes for 13th though with a 16.3, but valid time. Can't complain too much on that. Just Quinton as well on a lap, invalid. And it's just Bradders as well. Bradders is on a lap, but I don't know if he's very low on his zeros already. So whether he's just oh, that's an invalidation again from Bradder. That would have been this in the next lap as well, so he's going to be straight in the pits. Again, no time on the board at all. So I think at this point he just needs to ease off that a little bit and just make sure that he's, you know, able to complete a lap. It's beautiful. Reese is there. I assume that's Reese here for the Troy Masterclass. He's here. Driller is here. Right, do you know what? We'll watch Lucas Champion then, who I've touted for glory. We'll watch him. It's just like I say, that deep at turn 1, invalidated at turn 2, so that's that lap cooked. Recharge, go again, with just under 4 minutes left as well. Time's running out for people. Everyone in the pits then getting ready for that final run, as Turbo then is the only man really on track right now. Harshman's coming around to start his time, but he's just behind this, so we can switch from Turbo to Harsh. Once Turbo's finished his lap, keeps it clean through sector 1, and he's nearly 4 tenths up on his time, so if he does that, we will be seeing a new man at the top of the sheet. So we'll watch Turbo as he goes around, just with 30% of his ERS left, down to 5th gear there. Interesting to take it 5th, although I think a lot of people might be choosing to take that in 6th if you can throw the car in. Keeps it valid as well through there. Up to the dreaded chicane now. What's the time looking? Lost a bit of time, but still green. Keeps it valid. Oh, and he invalidates on the exit. He hasn't got time to come into the pits again. It's a very slow pit in Imola, so is that done? Harsh is coming through now to start his lap. That could be big for Turbo. Yeah, I think he realises as well. 2 tenths, that would have put him, I mean, I literally would have put him right next to his teammate Kinsella on provisional pole right now. And he's in the pits, that's him done. Turbo's done. Oh, he smashes into the wall, yeah. For that best then. For Turbo, with a couple more people still with times to come through. Harsh, looked like he took that in 7th gear then. Maybe his shifter's broke, but we'll go on board and see what he can do. 7 tenths improvement. I mean, he has got an 18.2 currently, but we'll follow that through and see where he slots in. If he can move up the ranks, I should say. There's Chocolade as well behind him at 26.1. Don't know if he's actually going to leave that. He's just come out of the pit, so he's just got enough time for one final run. Up he goes. Oh, a bit of a skid, but up he goes. Chip Haskin is Harsh new to gears. Honestly, I'm not sure. Perhaps he's just taken out a 6th gear, which is going to lose him a heap ton of time. As Lucas Champion then goes provisional pole, they 14.2, 3 tenths of Kinsella. He's got a hefty gap behind him. 6th gear again from Harsh. He really needs to shift down because this is going to cost him so much time through the final couple of corners. I mean, to the line, where can Harsh slot it? Don't know if he's going to find that much time. He finds 1.3 seconds, but anchored near the bottom of the standings with the 16.9. Over 2 seconds off the pole, unfortunately. Or provisional pole. So here comes Kinsella then. Marginally up on his time currently as well. Does he keep it valid? He does. So still got to find a bit of time in the 3rd sector if he wants to move up the order. Into the final 2 corners. Can he keep it within the limits? Does it the first part. Keeps it in with the second, so this is it then. Final lap for Kinsella. Where does this put him? Does he move above? He finds some time, but not enough. Still 2 tenths off Mr. Lucas Champion, so my man has put down a solid anchor time for people to try and beat. Whether people can beat it though, that is the other question. Who have we got coming to the line now? Brad is on a lap. He's got no ERS left, so this is the final lap for Bradders. Can he keep it valid in the final 2 corners? Does at the first, left-hander, does at the second, so one and only time on the board for Bradders. So where does this put him up? Here he comes to the line now, puts in P6, and considering the situation, I think he would honestly take that. Yeah, also we got Gremic then to the line, using the pits. Unfortunately, he can't improve on his time. Here comes Snoo. He's been saying that he's running no ABS for the first time. Where does that put him? Puts in P3, 14.5. Troy as well. Ooh, yeah, keeps it within the limits. Have we got anyone ahead of him? We got a McLaren. Might be Chocolade. No, that's just him behind. Who's that? It's K1. K1 goes provisional pole. 14.243. 2 milliseconds above Lucas Champion. I don't think anyone saw that coming. And Troy goes, oh my god, look how close it is to the front. Troy does a 14.239. Oh my god. This Cancelo's obviously done as well. Is there anyone else to spoil the party? Not for Camper, not Constella. Slippy? Slippy to steal the show. It's on a 16.3 currently. Where's this going to put him? Does he move up the order at all? He doesn't, unfortunately. Marginally down in his time, but wow, look at the front three there. Troy stealing the show right at the end. Well in, Troy. The Merc Dream is well and alive. 14.239. Just look at that front three. Separated by 6 milliseconds. They were front three then. Out of nowhere in a way. It looked like it was Lucas Champions to take. Troy in the Mercedes P1. K1 out of nowhere puts it P2. Lucas Champion P3. Constella P4. Snoo P5. Quinton new reserve P6. Mila P7. Turbo unfortunately dropping down to P8. After that invalidation, that would have put, I mean, he would have been around 4th or 5th if he kept what time he had throughout the rest of the lap. But it's a shame that having to settle, but we'll have to see. Unfortunately, no Kookaburra as well at the lobby started, so that's a shame. But yeah, running through the rest of the order then, we've got Mido P7, Turbo P8, Chocolade new reserve P9, Bradders down in P10 after that one lap, so honestly not too bad given the circumstances. Camper P11, Laurie P12, Gremic P13, you've got trio of Italians there. Hyacinth Rook P14, Manic 15th, Slippy 16th, and the new man Harshman rounding off the order at the bottom of the table, P17. What a front three there. Brad has still got the race though, so plenty of opportunities to open up. Yeah, you're a top driver, yeah, but like I said, the grid is very competitive this season, so I won't be too disappointed. You'll just have to see where you find yourself placed in the race. How many laps is it? Like 36, I think it is, something like that. One of the shortest races in the calendar, obviously. So what should be a good race ahead of us. Interesting to see what tyres people are starting as well. Whether anyone opts for the softs as well. Whether they chuck them on and just hope for the best off the start. They just pray that they stay alive. Fuel as well. Obviously, it's a track that you probably expect there to be a safety car, particularly in Tier 2. Not that I'm saying Tier 2 is full of chaos, but you'd expect there to be a safety car. As we're finally getting things underway here. Merck and McLaren on the front row. Who's going to be leading by turn 1? We've got 5 red lights and away we go then. For round 1, and Troy's had a shocking start. No! He's going to be all the way down to 5th, 6th place before we even got to turn 1. K1 then is your lead driver going down into turn 1. Constella trying to get up in the order as he's bundled Lucas Champion out of the way to get up to P2. Lucas Champion then down to 5th as well. Troy all the way down to 8th. And we're not even at the end of sector 1 yet. As I'll quickly get the tyres up before we get into the flow of things. Most people on the mediums, apart from Turbo, Mido and Hyacinth lost some ground as well on the opening lap, whether something's happened at the back, because yeah, we've got a couple of spinners. Mido dropping ground as well. Let's fly through if there's anything chaotic happening through sector 2. No real break in the train so far, which is nice to see. Everyone maintaining their order. So Troy then opening that down to P8. I wonder if he had a glitch where he didn't see the lights, or whether he just had a stinker of a start. We'll have to keep an eye on the chats during a safety car, maybe at the end of the race in the media pen just to see what's actually happened there. You've got to move further back as well. His turbo's been had by Laurie as he moves up the order. That'll be on track limits, unfortunately, there for turbos. K1 that takes the fastest lap as he leads the way going on to lap 2. Down to turn 1 he goes. He's got Constella all over the back of him though, flicking around. But they're slowly breaking away from Snoo as well. He's made good ground as well on the opening lap to move up. P2. Oh, and Quinton going for a ballsy move that was never going to work, and he slammed into the side of Snoo, and he's round all the way down to 12th place. Dare move, some may call it stupid, but outside the points for the kick man now. Obviously, kick star from last season, Mighty Boo, not on the grid this season, on either grids. He's unfortunately had to step down to a reserve for now anyway, so Kick are hoping for Quinton, well, not Quinton obviously because he's not a full-time driver, but someone from Kick to be their new star man. Whether they'll have to succumb to more of a backmarker team again, so we'll have to see. Quickly have a look at position gains then, as Manic is the first driver to pick up those dreaded track limits penalties as they start racking up on lap 2. Yeah, look at the gains and so many people up there. We've had a couple of big losers, being Troy and Quinton after that move there. Constella sets the fastest lap. Whether he's going to go for a move, here he is. Easy DRS move in the end. Constella then moves into the lead. This is his first race back in Tier 2. Very close between the front 3. Lucas Champions might be slightly losing track. Just look at the battery though. I think K1 is sitting very comfortable in his battery, so it's far from over at the moment. Out front at least as well. Why did Constella get moved down? There was an incident towards the end of last season where he was involved in 2 collisions, and he's basically refused to race Tier 1, so it's a situation we're monitoring, and we'll have to see how the first however many races of the season play out, and whether we have to take further action and do any more moves or grid sort out. So yeah, something we'll keep an eye on. Things still incredibly close. K1 losing a bit of ground through sector 2, but should be fine in terms of DRS to maybe not make a move, but at least stay well and truly in touch with Constella around the final corner. As Hyacinth Rook is then the next driver to get a penalty. Maybe the listeners as well, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hyacinth Rook. I assume that's how you say it. Silent like a SEC, I don't know. Brad is very close as well to Chocolate. He's tried to cut through, already up 4 places. Said he wasn't going to. Clipsy says Kinsella hasn't done. Oh, I mean, he's brake checked 2 people in the past, so I mean that's doing something. But this season, yeah, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just driving as normal as we'd expect him to. So hopefully, he can just have a nice clean season. Yeah, we can always leave drivers in positions if they fit the division. If they look like they're going to be too fast for a division, we can't just leave them there because they refuse to race another tier. So I understand what you're saying, Clipsy, but it is only lap 4 of the first race of the season as well. There's also 11 weeks of racing still to do, so that's something to bear in mind as we've got a couple more penalties then flying through. Quinton, Turbo, Manic and Hyacinth then with pens under their belt already. So K1's lost a position there. I've missed that. He's lost the position to Snoo. And Snoo then trying to then stay in touch with Constella. Chocolada then sets the fastest time. Back in 5th place. So it's looking like a good day at the office for McLaren as well. Ferrari having a good shift. Turbo having a rough race so far. Starting on the hards though, so the race could hopefully come back to him in the final however many races of the season, so that's something to bear in mind. I'll go on board with the tyres again for people unaware of that. Yeah, the hard run is struggling a bit. We've got Harshman at the back, really struggling. I wonder if Harshman's having a gear issue. I know Harshman's on a rig. I wonder if he's having struggle with his steering wheel or whatever, that he can't shift down properly because he's really struggling. Harshman is not usually this far off the pace. I can vouch for him on that and say this is not Bro's pace. Hyacinth gets another 3-second penalty, not having a nice day at the office to start things off. In his HOR career, I think that's up to 9 seconds now. Lippy with more penalties coming his way as well. You've got a lot of action here happening on the back end of the top 10. Quinton moves up, squeezes Manic out of the way as Turbo looks to pounce on that up past Manic. Manic losing 2 positions there in the space of 2 corners. DRS activated as well, and it's not on Manic's car, so this is going to be 2 more positions lost. Quinton driving very aggressively to try and get past Turbo. Not paying off at all. He gets bullied out of the way by Turbo. He's moving up ground. I think the race is slowly starting to come back to him now that he's a couple of those laps have been put onto the hard tyres. But look at that gap though, 7.2 seconds between 8th and 9th. So Turbo has really got his work cut out there though. So he's hoping that tyre offset is really going to help him. Starting the hards, maybe the race comes back to him with the mediums at the end. That's something we'll have to bear in mind. But look at the front 8 though, nose to tail. Which you're asking, who's going to win? Oh, let's not mess around here. We know it's going to be Williams. I've been on the phone with James Vowles today actually, and he's got full faith in the boys to break it home. But enough waffling. I'll get back to the action. Trent, you're in the basement, lads. Not because you're too fast. Is there going to be any moves further down? We've got a yellow flag towards the back as well. As Mido, I think, has gone round. So quickly fit. Yeah, Mido's in the wall parked. I wonder if he's trying to bring out a safety car, because he's been caught in 4K here, if he is. No, unfortunately he's not. Okay, underway then, Mido back racing. I'll keep an eye on his little dot on the minimap and see if he's doing anything despicable. Harshman's then retired. I wonder, is that in the pits? Is that in the pits? Is he retired in the pits, or is that on track? That's not in the pits. Quickly see what Mido's doing, if he's doing anything stupid. I don't want to get Bro caught in 4K. He's in the pits. Okay, we can skip back to the proper action. Amido's retired, unfortunately. He's not got a good record of finishing races so far, as Harshman's left as well. So that's in the space of 1 lap. You've got 2 drivers then, so we're down to 15. Kick drivers rounding things off down the bottom of the order. Oh, Snoo with a massive slide with his ABS. He said he's brand new to the no ABS, but is it going to come back to bite him the longer he gets into this race, and the less, the more into unknown territory he goes? As Chocolate, there's a bit of a lag moment there. As the outcome, the ghosted cars, hopefully they don't get in the way. As Gremix lagged out as well, he should just be able to hop back in, but I'll quickly send him one. Because he's in a good position, he doesn't want to lose the train, so I'll fling him one. Oh, I can't actually, because he says he's still in, so hopefully he can just rejoin off the PlayStation invite. Bradders looks like he's had a moment as well, because he's down behind Turbo now as well. Turbo, look at the ground that Turbo's making up there. Down to 4.4 as Hyacinth gets another 3-second pen. Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, I can vouch for Harsh and say there's no way guy's going to be trying to take the final 2 corners in 6th gear, which is a shame. If his wheel's broken, I don't think he'll get the penalty points for retiring on track. I think he might just about get away with that, but the first drive at the front and to get a 3-second penalty, Snoo gets 3 seconds. 6 cents down the Lucas champion in P2, but I mean, considering how congested it looks at the front, it doesn't look good, does it? I think he might end up dropping down several positions if he's not careful. And Quinton looks like he's had a moment with back. We've missed that, but Quinton's all the way down 22 seconds at the back, so something's happened towards the back. Alex, the engine sound like Wasp. Yeah, a couple of the engine changes. I know Ferrari's changed, which is Hyacinth. I wonder if he's done. Sped into the pits. Yeah, plenty of track limits. It was just racking up at that point, and no point really racing, unfortunately. I think he already had 12 seconds of penalties in the first 9 laps. But calls it a day, so hopefully we see better of him later on. Yeah, same struggled. Yeah, one of these grim races as well that you get punished for limits. You've got to just kind of lock in and really know how much to push the car. Gremic's in the lobby, but he's not in charge of his car yet. But look how much ground he's lost. 5 seconds now. I do like the sound of the Alpine car, whether I've just been watching too much Tom. I'm used to hearing that car. But we will be back, yeah. Hi, Cynthia Rook. Hopefully we'll see you back next week. Keep an eye on checking obviously out Sunday. So keep an eye on that to try and bags your spot in the queue. Things starting to spread out a little bit is Troy's tried to bite the bullet as well, going early. Kinsella then moving ahead of Lucas Champion. Lucas Champion obviously made a move somewhere because he was in the lead. He's obviously slipped ahead somewhere. Kookaburra said he'd be back next week. Yeah, unfortunately didn't get to see you today, but that happened last season as well. And you look how good last season was. So we believe. Yeah, Alex saying that the mediums aren't very good around here, which is true. Be interesting to see what's happened. So K1's obviously lost a bit of ground here. I'll quickly go on board with have a look at penalties. 2 drivers on 6 seconds, a couple on 3s. Nothing outrageous so far though. Yeah, so K1, look at all the position gains. Lots of people having a very, very good race. From the first 10 laps, no real outstanding driver to say, yes, he would be my driver today. I mean, Chocolada and Camp have had very solid races to move up 5 positions, but Kinsella is up 3 to then take the lead. K1 unfortunately down 3 positions, but still with the front pack, still in the front train, so who knows what could happen. Still got plenty of the race. We've got 22 laps, we're counting down to 21 laps now. We'll have to watch out for Troy as well, obviously. One of the longest pit lanes. Maybe the longest in terms of how much you lose for a pit stop. So we'll keep an eye on Troy and see how he's fine. I'm assuming he's on the hards. Yeah, Troy is indeed on the hards. So going to the end. So I have to keep an eye on him and where he slots when other people choose to come into the pits. I mean, I've watched Bradders as well. Where is Troy? So yeah, Troy's at Bradders. Looks like it's going to be maybe that could be as big as a 10-second gap there. He's coming out of the pits now. I'll keep an eye on that and see Bradders as he comes out last as well. 7 seconds or so. Flicking through the order. That gap now between Manic and Turbo, 13.5 seconds. I don't understand that they've lost so much time. Because the Astons are well and truly stranded. I mean, I know Mannix is a reserve, but he kind of just needs to get out of the way and just help his teammate out, which he's done to some degree. I mean, he's going to lose a position to Gremic as well, as Gremic tries to cut back through the order and make up for lost time after having his disconnection. You've got a move as well, to a couple of moves up front, as Chocolada moves up above Snoo with his penalties and Constella back into the lead above the Ferrari man, Lucas Champion. Obviously kept his seat with the team from last season. Ferrari man through and through. Obviously won the Constructor as well with Mercedes back in Tier 3 when that was still up and running. The only actual season of Tier 3, I should say, really. I wonder if Campus now lost the train. How much ERS? He's got 28%. He's just on that cusp, isn't it? As Manic gets another 3-second penalty. Really struggling to adapt to the track limits on this game compared to the other games he plays and races around the legendary Imola circuit. Snoo looked like he had a massive snap there as well, whether he was looking for a little random cutback on Chocolada, but very close between the front threes. Yeah, Camper is within that train. It's K1 that's looking at risk then of losing it. I don't think he is though, so the front 6 stays intact yet again. But this track is legendary. It's historical. Imola's been around for years, mate. Constella then bites the bullet as well. He is the first people out of this top pack that chooses to come into pits for the hards. So again, this is someone we watch out and see where he flicks in with Troy. Obviously, Troy lost a bit of ground off the start. But go on board with him and see what that gap looks like between Troy and the race leader at the time of the pit stop as well. provisional leader. How close do you think it's going to be? Kinsella looks like he's on the edge of the... He's coming out of the pits there. Yeah, so out he comes. Is he going to be above Gremic as well? Very close. Considering Troy was down in... What, 8th? When he pitted? Gap's 3... Well, yeah, 3.5 seconds or so. This could come back and this could really bless Troy. I mean, I know he's got a couple more laps on his tyres, but it's only 3 laps compared to Kinsella. There's no safety car in this race. He could be looking very, very good for a solid result, at least to try and claw back what he lost in that start of the race. As Turbo gets a 3-second penalty, cutting back through up to P6 currently on his hards. Like we said, the race is coming back to him, but that 3-second penalty not going to help him at all. Obviously adding to his other one as well, so that's up to 6. Manic down to 12, so we've got a couple of moves down the line. There's Lucas, so Lucas Champion and Chocolate are in the pits. That means Snoo leads the race currently. This is going to be interesting then, watching Kinsella then. Chocolate and Lucas Champion fitting in the hards as expected, but where are they going to come out? How far behind, or what is the gap going to look like by the time Kinsella comes around? We'll go on board with Lucas Champion, come out of the pits and have a look and see. You can hear him go past. There he goes then, Lucas Champion. He's built up a tasty gap, you know. Where is Troy? Where is Troy in all this? Right with them in the DRS train. P2, 3, 4 then. After everyone's pitted, looks like it could be these guys. That's really benefited Kinsella though. Look at that one. What was that? Was that 1 lap or 2 laps? And he's gained 3.4 seconds. Just with a little strategy up his sleeve, and he's swung the race massively in his favour there. Obviously 1 lap differential going in the way of these 2 guys behind, Chocolate and Lucas Champion, but Kinsella could be running away with this race then if he keeps it nice and tidy. We'll have to keep an eye on the gaps, because you can imagine these guys will surely just be fighting a bit more to just fight for track position, as K1 then stays out while Snoo and Camper are in. Tim moving up to P2 as he's on those hards. So it's into that pit window now, whether people choose to throw it in or not. Quinton's obviously been on those hards for a long time after pitting earlier. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, whether he chooses to go to the end, as Kinsella then sets the fastest time 17.0. Oh my god, have I only just discovered that you can flick through them? Oh no, never mind, I just being stupid. Oh, who's that off? Chocolate, a massive snap into the wall. Rejoins the track a bit dangerously, but it should be fine because he's ghosted. Doesn't look like he's got damage, but Chocolate, he was having a brilliant race. Having now just to kind of settle back into the mojo and recover his race, because he doesn't want to let it get to his head and then drop further. He's still within touching distance of some decent points. So Snoo obviously just ahead with 6 seconds, and he's nearly in DRS with Camper, so for his sake I think he should be okay. Just need to settle it back in and then go from there. So Troy's then trying to keep up with Lucas Champion, just flirt. Oh, that's a track limits. Yeah, just as I saw him turn, and I knew he was going to get 3 seconds for that. Troy picks up the 3-second penalty, the dreaded 3 seconds. They start to rack up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 drivers across then. Your 14 drivers with penalties. It's a painful day, as expected, for drivers picking up their warnings. It's K1 then. He stayed out a long time on his mediums. I feel like this is going to come back and bite him, because he's going to lose a lot of track positions. Bradders is the next man to pick up a time penalty as well for cutting corners. Look at him, he's lost so much time. He's even behind Bradders. K1 was in the fight for the win at one point. And you look how far he is off Kinsella just from staying out. Nah, it's ruined his race. How long is K1 off the lead? Yeah. I'll have a quick click through. 16 seconds or so, yeah. I may have to go mute shortly as well, as we've got a car off, but yeah, I'll quickly mute and get things sorted, but I'll still be here to flick through and keep you guys posted with any changes in the race. back. Yeah, back for a bit. But Turbo then, just in time then to see Turbo's pit stop. I said I had to go. I said I had to go. Yeah, Clipsy, I'm not going to leave you alone though. You're awkward by yourself. Oh, I thought there was a pit lane cut there, but no, just yeah, Glitz and Turbo then coming right out in this scrap with K1 Bradders and Camper as well, who's 6.6 seconds adrift, unfortunately. But can still keep that gap healthy between him and Lucas Champion. Troy's starting to lose track as well, and he's got Snoo all over the back of him. Oh, sorry, Clipsy. I'm speaking the truth, I'm afraid. This man gets another 3-second pen. Chocolade, despite going into the wall then, he's managed to somewhat stabilise his race, just 2.1 seconds off the top 4, so well and truly still in this, considering there's track limit pens up ahead as well, so honestly, Chocolade could be my driver of the day. K1's dropped off a little bit and he's got a 3-second penalty. Constello obviously is going to be in the question, but you know, still got plenty of the race still to go, so watch out as K1 goes for a ballsy move down into the final 2 corners. He's going to be done dirty though, because he's just really giving his DRS away to Campers. We've got moves up front, then the Snoot gets Troy, where the Camper's going to go for a move. He's actually not got DRS, so K1 has done that really smartly. Further up, I could look for Constello and Lucas Champion's wins, but there is a glitch sometimes where if you pause, you then can't come out of the race director, so that's only something I would do if I've got a co-comp, so I'm going to leave it to fate and hope that neither of them have warnings or they're close. But all very standard so far up front. Lucas Champion eating away slightly at Constella's lead, but Constella looks like he's got this somewhat in the bag. Then a 3-second penalty as well, unfortunately. So very slowly, somewhat, I don't say falling apart, because he's still well and truly in the scrap, and there's a big gap back to K1 who's also got penalties, so we just have to keep an eye on the gaps and see, because look, yeah, the gap between Lucas Champion and Snoot around the same as the gap between the front 2 as well. Troy's already been dropped somewhat by Snoot as well as K1, then, so that's the fastest time, so maybe this race will come back to K1. He's got a big gap to close in on though, so yeah, Snoo has got 6 seconds, but K1's also got 6 seconds as far as I'm aware. He's at least got 3. He's got 3 and he's 6 seconds back, so, and then Turbo's got 6. So he's got up to 9 actually. I didn't realise Snoo was on 9 seconds of pens. Oh dear. Oh, Camper's off as well, gone deep there. Brad isn't able to fly through him. Turbo then, the only man on the meter. So I'm interested to see how Turbo cuts through. You expect him to get through K1 in the next lap or so, but then can he make any dent up towards the top 5, because he's got 6.9 seconds. K1 looked like he's in none there. Yeah, he was going so slow, having a massive recharge of his ERS moment, whether that's going to be beneficial or not. So maybe that's why K1's losing so much time, because he keeps flicking to ERS none thinking it's saving his race, but he's actually effectively throwing away the gap, because he's losing so much time to his his provisional teammate. It's just a reserve stepping in. It should be Nitro, but Nitro unfortunately not here today, so that's why Chocolade has been given the opportunity. But yeah, and through he goes, even before he activated DRS. He was up ahead, then it's Chocolade as well making a move on that same straight. The ups and downs of being a McLaren fan in one straight there. Cool. Turbo going a bit deep there, catches the carver, and away he goes then to see if he can close down Troy and make any further inroads then in this top 5, as he picks another 3 second up burn, so that's going to come back and bite him potentially. Camper just, what, 2.5 seconds down as well, so not completely out of the question there. As Lippy retires in the pits as well, unfortunately. Calls it a day, so that's now 5 cars all retiring in the pits. Well, harsh on track, but that was a technical issue as far as we were at. You can always do a little bit of research after. May have been a warning for Troy there as well. A lot of people pushing their luck yet. Just Troy really pushing to stay in the DRS here of Chocolade. Lucas Champion gets a 3-second penalty as well. I mean, 10 laps left. That could be game, set, and match. Unless, of course, Castello has a moment or himself picks up a 3-second, but the gap's already at 3.2, so it's not looking good, is it? Lucas Champion having a solid race, though, considering how he ended last season as well, on a bit of a high. As Troy picks another 3-second up. They're starting to rack up now. 22 laps deep in the race, though, so the warnings are starting to stack up for sure for basically every driver on the grid. Castello, Lucas Champion with only 2 at the front, then to not have a warning, or to not have a penalty. K1 then gets another one as well. Chocolada's sitting very comfortable here, though, in P4 with no pens. 3 drivers on the grid without warnings. Gremic doing nicely to keep them as well. Obviously he's down in 11th, though, but yeah, Drew asking for pens, there you go. So, not just a couple of... I mean, Snooze up to 12 now. Gremic, and just as I say that, Gremic's picked up a warning. And it's pushed him over to 6 seconds. Gremic, I mean, the gap, though, from Laurie up is just so monumental, though, that even with pens, Gremic's not really going to be able to benefit from that, is he? Even if he cuts past Laurie within the next lap or so. I don't think Snoo's actually going to lose that much time, you know. I'll look at the intervals and see. But considering he's got 12, Manic up to 18 seconds of pens as well, which is... Snoo as well gets another one, 15 seconds of pens. I was just about to say, oh, shouldn't be that bad for him, but I mean, we'll have to see. There's too much for my little brain to work out. Just as I'm saying how good of a race that Chocolada's having, he's in the wall again. Hasn't got any damage though. Honestly, his race isn't completely ruined because of the penalties ahead, but what was P4 is now turned into P7, so once again, Chocolada's visited a grubber truck and he's having to recover his race to go again and trying to catch up to his teammate for the week. But for what could have been a podium, for Chocolada's just faded into nothing. Yeah, Alex saying this is all Castella's by the look of things, yeah. The gap's gone down a little bit, but like we said, he's got 3 seconds to cover as well, so that gap's effectively around 6 seconds, so he's got plenty of breathing space, even if Lucas Champion gets right behind him. Yeah, Castella chilling on up front as well. Couple with K1 is looking to try and follow Turbo through. Obviously that gap 3.6 seconds between Troy and Turbo. Is K1 going to be close enough to make a move? Just about gets there in the braking zone. Goes a little bit deep, but keeps it all together. Panic mode, yeah. It's just a bit of banging, so I'm just trying to protect everyone's ears. I don't want to have to put a noise warning on the stream. It's not too loud, that's fair. It's quite loud to me. I'd imagine Turbo is going to stay right with K1 then fly back through. Whether he's going to try and make a move already, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. K1 using his battery very sensibly here, but I don't know if that's going to be detrimental in the long run. Oh, he gets another 3-second penalty. It's finding that balance, isn't it, between pushing to get an overtake done and then staying sensible and then just protecting your overall race. Turbo choosing to go for that immediate pass, and it's come back and it's really affected him because he's got the 3-second. He's going to make the move, but, you know, at what cost? As Lucas Champion gets another 3-second penalty. That's done and dusted then. That's going to be, I mean, if anything, I don't want to jinx it, but if anything, unless anything crazy happens in the last 7 laps, it's going to be a comfortable win in the end from Cancelo in round 1. 2.7 seconds up the road. Lucas Champion with 6 seconds of pen, so, I mean, we could be looking at a domination statement made. Eskimo book from Cancelo. But the podium seems to be sorting itself out. We'll have to see what happens with Snoo with all those penalties, because there will be Troy currently holding up that 3rd place on the podium. more than the last lap or so as well. Turbo's really caught on the back of Troy. He's struggling on those slightly extra longer used hard tyres compared to everyone else, really. Turbo on his, well, not necessarily new mediums, but newer, and he's putting them to good use as he's closing Troy massively, and Troy's really struggling, not only with his tyres, but his ERS uses as well, as he loses a place yet again. Turbo goes through K1, closing as well. He's got DRS as well, so that gap's only going to come down even more. It's right on the cusp, isn't it? It's going to be close. I'll have a look at Penn's Chocolada's not completely out of the picture. But I mean, I say that, yeah, obviously Turbo's got through, but he's got 12 seconds of Penn, so if Troy can somewhat just keep him within reach, I mean, he's going to be able to get that place, you know, come the end of the race. Only 6 laps left. Massive amount of Penns throughout the grid though, so lots of drivers heavily suffering with the strict track limits here around the lovely Imola. Again, Turbo's now with another 3-second penalty. I was just about to say how that gap between the front three is up to 5 seconds. But yeah, he not only lost 3 seconds, but got another 3-second penalty. So the race has just effectively been decided up front. Turbo with another track limits, that's really going to come back and bite him. So we'll have to pay attention to that. But it's just going to be the opportunity of K. Look how much battery K1's got. We looked at Troy just earlier. Nothing. Move on the grass. Can he get it to slip? Oh, contact between the pair. Somehow K1 is still alive after all that. But massive moment between Troy and K1 there. K1 going sideways, drifting across the apex of turn 1. Kept it alive though. I mean, they've lost slight track with Turbo, but the track limits penalties that Turbo's racked up will come back and bite him. These two will slot back through, but it might give the Chocolada a chance to slide back into some free positions as well. Bradis was looking to obviously move up as well. He slightly moved up. He started P10 at one position. We'll have to see. I'm not even bothered to do the math at the moment because we've got so many penalties, so many things happening. It's just as I say that, Brella's on board gets one extra 3-second penalty as well, added to his name. I feel like we've got so much stuff happening post-race, just like immediately as we hit the checkered flag in terms of penalties, etc. to sort out. So who knows what the final order could be as well. As you come around then, just a couple of laps left to go. No safety car to start things off in tier 2, unless one magically appears in the next lap or so. Laurie gets a 3-second as well, further back. Do you know what? Even though Chocolade has, been in the wars a bit with 2 incidents, the man's got no penalties. He's going on the driver of the day vote. Solid shift in his first race in HR as well. I think I can put some respect on his name. I feel like this is going to be the closest battle we've got, really. 6.9 seconds difference between Snoo and Turbo, so it's going to be that fight behind Turbo, K1, Troy, with Chocolada floating around in the background. Statement made, yes. Constella statement made. Domination. Laurie, is he going for a little faster lap attempt? He said, fuck it, this is in the chat, but I wonder if he's going to go for a last minute Danny Rick. Laurie is going for fastest lap, but I can confirm he will not be losing a seat directly after this race, so he is safe for now. K1 though, I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move on Turbo here. He's at least going to close up the gap. Keep him in play for the last couple of laps, but doesn't really need to make the move because of the penalties that have been accrued by Turbo up head on his mediums. Turbo all out of shape going through there as well. Yeah, Alex saying real winners, who is the most seconds? Well, if you're counting that, I mean, Turbo, Snoo both on 15, Brad is 12, Manic 18, Laurie's on 21. Oh, just as I say that, Snoo, even though he's having a brilliant race up front, 18 seconds of penalties. Snoo's coming for the crown. Laurie, the massive snap. Oh look, where's Laurie? Come on, Laurie, stop yeah, Laurie talking in the chat, lad. Give us your fastest lap. Look there, it all seems very status quo in the front four. Really, with K1 looking likely to take people then after penalties are applied. I mean, K1's on for a podium, really, isn't he? I'm very interested to see what the front five looks like once penalties, etc., all get sorted when they come across the checkered flag. K1 very aggressive to come back across, squeezing Turbo Snell, pinning him to the racing line. K1 looks for the best entrance and exit of turn 1 and 2. Troy slightly lost track here with this pack. I don't know why these guys are racing so hard as well. Going side by side through the fast left-hander. Very equal. Oh, I mean, 7.4 seconds to get there. It's the fastest lap then for Laurie. He does get it with 2 laps to go. Massive moment on the ABS there for Turbos. K1 gets a 3 second. I mean, I don't know if that really changes things between the fight. No is the answer to that, but 9 seconds there. Turbo's gone to ERS off, and it really nearly caught K1 off. It almost looked like a brake check. They're both on ERS off. That's going to let Troy come back into the picture as well. Sat on medium. So he's able just to keep a bit more momentous speed as well. Can Chocolate get P2? Do you know what? Let me have a look. You in the chat, everyone can do your... put your maths to work. I mean, Chocolate is at least going to have Snoo and Turbo. Snoo's going to get P3. Yeah. Out of all this, Snoo's going to go... I mean, I'd say this, I don't want to jinx him. I feel like I've been jinxing the guys several times throughout the race, so I'm not going to say anything about penalties in case anyone picks one up in the last couple of laps. But Chocolat having a very, very solid race to start things off in his time at HR. Turbo and K1 need to be careful because they're playing games with their ERS usage, switching it to off and medium, and it's going to eventually catch on them out. Down to the final turn, 2 corners we go, as Cancelo then starts the final lap of the race. Troy's trying to pounce as well on these two guys. On to the final lap they go. Turbo's mugged the DRS off K1. I mean, I think it's... K1 hits the wall though. I feel like that's just going to be more for pride than position, obviously, because the penalties will mean that Turbo will eventually cede these positions to the 2 cars behind, well, the 3 cars behind us. Chocolate is not too far down the road as well. Yeah, he's looking for a little push lap. Ooh, a bit out of shape though. Do the fast left, right. And the K1's right back on the case as well, but to see the end of the lap, we'll go on board with this man. Who is your race winner? Looks to be your race winner today. Anything doesn't do a look, doesn't chuck it in the wall. But into sector 3. First race back in tier 2, and oh, we got yellow flag further back as well. I'll let that play out, but yeah, round a couple of corners. Mr. Constella goes round the final corner to the line, and Constella is your race winner in the first round of season 8. Imola Grand Prix goes his way. Constella wins by nearly 10 seconds in the end after penalties get applied. New crosses the line in 3rd. We'll see what happens pen-wise. As Turbo out of fuel. He was going very slow through the final 2 corners. He's pulling aside, I mean, yeah, sliding across the line. He's going to go dropping down the orders. K1 gets P3 for now. Chocolata then gets all the way up to P3 after finishing the race with no track limits. Beautiful race from him. 11.7 seconds off the lead, so fantastic result despite the 2 spins as well. What could have been maybe a P2. Brilliant race from him. In the end, Troy P7, Turbo dropping down to P8 unfortunately with the track limits. just Gremic and Laurie. Well, Laurie just finished now, Gremic just across the line there. So it's going to be the Aston Martins as your two lowly finishing cars today. Constella P1, Lucas Champion P2, Chocolada P3. Your podium today. Top 5 is overrated that by K1, who's had a fantastic drive, and Camper. Snoop P6 really feeling the effects of track limits, and Troy never really recovering from his diabolical start, really dropping all the way down to P8 or whatever it was. Turbo's up, P9. And Laurie's smashed into the pit lane now. I mean, he hasn't finished the race. You need to finish the race, buddy. I mean, I know you don't care, but I mean, he's going to have to reset the track. Yeah, he's finishing in the pits, yeah. Cheers, lads. But yeah, Brad is as well, moved up one position up to P9. Gremic rounds out the top 10 then in P10. Then, as I said, your Aston Martins round out the order. Considering the expectations coming into this race, honestly, it's not too bad. What was Brothers? K1 hit me off track when I was P6. Yeah, if anything, I'm literally about to do the FI stuff, Brothers, as well. If you want to report anything, FI window is obviously now open. So I know it's peak the race got ruined, but feel free to report anything. You just create a ticket and FI will look at it, and then those will come out tomorrow. So it's a race winner then. I know, yeah. You may have ruined your race, but that's just something, you know, that FI is going to have to look at sorting out. Obviously, we can't go back and change actual results and demote people based on who hit who. It's just based on penalties that will get dished out based on the actual incident itself, rather than, you know, the consequence of, you know, the knock-on impact of the actual race. That's your finish order. We'll quickly flick through. I'll try and see if I can catch people out as well on the pit entry and exit to see if anyone's cut it.